Transience is a game I've looked forward to for quite some time, and if you don't know who made this game, it's none other than BigFry himself and his indie studio Resurgent. And if you don't know who BigFry is, and you've been living under a rock, I'm going to leave a link to his channel down in the description. Make sure to go show them some love. This is a review I want to be very respectful of. I trust BigFry and his team. I've been a fan for many years of the channel and have followed this game closely. So, BigFry, if you watch this, please know that any critiques I may have are purely from a standpoint of love for this title and not out of sheer spite. So with that in mind, let's get to it. Transience, developed by BigFry and his team, is a tactical indie shooter that immediately evokes a certain era of gaming many players remember fondly, even if that nostalgia comes with a few cracks along the way. Its visual identity is striking right away, a gritty, comic-shaded aesthetic that blends thick outlines with stylized textures, landing somewhere between the bold look of Borderlands and the shell-shaded charm of 13. It's an art style that gives Transience personality before you even fire your first shot, and it carries a strange retro comfort while still feeling unique to the project. But beneath that stylized veneer lies a game that swings between moments of tight, enjoyable design and others that feel like they're still sketching out their final form. The opening hours are the most difficult part of Transience to praise. The early missions feel like they belong to a different game entirely. Slow, quiet, and lacking the mechanical spark that defines the better moments later on. They're serviceable, but they struggle to establish momentum or intrigue, and they don't showcase the systems that eventually make Transience worth playing. It's easy to understand why so many players check out before that 2-hour mark, because the game simply does not communicate what it has in store. These early sections feel like remnants of a placeholder build, levels waiting to be replaced with something more dynamic, more engaging, and more representative of the experience the game is trying to deliver. When the environment and atmosphere click, though, they do click well. The world has a rugged, oppressive tone that fits the tactical pacing, with lighting and shadows that accentuate the comic-inspired visuals. Certain areas feel handcrafted to create tension. Narrow hallways, cluttered streets, industrial interiors. But the level design often stumbles when it comes to player interaction. You'll run into countless small obstacles that block your path in ways that feel almost outdated. Simple debris that should be easy to slide past becomes a forced detour, and these moments pull you out of the flow. It's the kind of design inherited from older shooters where collisions were more rigid, but here it feels like an unnecessary restriction that doesn't add anything meaningful. The story and characters start off with a noir-inspired tone that hints at something strong, especially in the opening cinematic, but that tone quickly fades once the gameplay takes over. The voice acting is competent enough to carry the narrative here, yet it rarely elevates it. Some performances land well, others feel like the actors weren't fully connected to the material, and the sheer amount of dialogue sometimes becomes distracting rather than immersive. Characters speak often, sometimes too often, and the pacing of their conversations don't always align with the tension of the moment. There's a foundation here that could become compelling with more polish, better direction, tighter script work, and a clearer emotional through line. But right now, it sits in a middle ground between effective and forgettable. Stealth is the system most in need of refinement here. On paper, it's a tactical framework meant to encourage slow, deliberate play. In practice, however, the long cooldowns on sleep darts and other tools interrupt that flow almost immediately. Instead of weaving between enemies and picking opportunities carefully, you spend far too much time waiting for your abilities to recharge. The enemy detection is also inconsistent. There are times when guards seem to see you through the walls before you even peek, and other times where they stroll past you completely unaware of your presence. In rare moments, enemies even vanish mid-patrol. You see them walk by through the wall you're hiding behind, only to pop up and find the hallway empty, as if reality had a hiccup. It creates a stealth system that feels unreliable, and when a system is unreliable, players have no reason to trust it. Most will abandon stealth altogether, not because they want chaos, but because the mechanics sort of discourage quiet play rather than supporting it. Where Transience finds its strongest footing is in its gunplay and combat once you acquire the tactical suit and its abilities. The game feels like it finally excels, revealing the kind of experience it wants to be. Gunfights become more energetic and more tactical, offering a satisfying mix of leaning, peeking, and repositioning. Rifles and SMGs have a punch and presence. Every shot feels like it carries weight, and the animations help sell the impact. As you start understanding how enemies move and how the cover plays with your abilities, firefights become genuinely fun and rewarding. Pistols lag behind significantly though. Many players will abandon them because they rarely justify their slot, but the rest of the arsenal carries the game's combat forward with confidence. Enemy AI is one of the more inconsistent components. Sometimes it behaves competently, pushing angles, taking cover in a way that keeps you on your toes. Other times it feels almost robotic or unfinished, standing still in the open, freezing mid-animation, or reacting to you in impossible ways. These swings in behavior make encounters unpredictable in a way that doesn't feel intentional. You're never quite sure whether an enemy is going to outmaneuver you or stare blankly as you sidestep into a better position. A more stable AI system would dramatically improve the game's tactical rhythm. Progression is where Transience finally locks into its groove. Once the suit abilities begin to roll in, the game becomes noticeably more dynamic. Movement feels better, combat's more fluid, and the sense of growth helps carry you through the campaign. The introduction of abilities creates a power curve that actually motivates the player, but it also highlights a structural problem. The most exciting mechanics arrive far too late. If the early missions introduced these systems more gradually or built toward them with intention, the entire experience would feel more cohesive. Technically, the game shows its indie nature through various quirks. Enemy despawns, clipping, animation issues, inconsistent stealth triggers. None of these individually break the experience, but they do accumulate. Each small hiccup pulls you out of immersion for a moment, and across several hours, those moments do add up. Yet despite these flaws, Transience maintains a certain charm. The core systems, when working, create a tactical sandbox with potential. The suit abilities, the gunplay, the stylized visuals, all of these form a solid backbone for something that could be genuinely impressive with further refinement. In the end, Transience is a game with heart, ambition, and a clear vision that's occasionally obscured by its own rough edges. The sluggish early missions, uneven stealth mechanics, inconsistent AI, and wobbly voice acting keep it from hitting the heights it's aiming for. But the later missions, the weighty combat, and the strong progression system makes it worth pushing through that slow start. This is a game that doesn't reveal its best self until you're already deep into it. Transience isn't just one thing. It's a prototype of something better, wrapped inside a functional but uneven final product. If the developers choose to refine the opening hours, tighten the mechanics, and polish the narrative delivery, this game could evolve into something that surprises a lot of people. As it stands now, it's absolutely worth experiencing, especially for players who enjoy tactical shooters with a bit of personality. But you'll need a little patience, because the best version of Transience doesn't show up right away. It waits for you deeper in, where the game finally finds its voice.